All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started now. Before we begin, I just want to mention that depending on how you are joining this call, either in the top right-hand corner or in the bottom corner, you can select the Q&A button to ask any question that you would like, and we will be getting to all questions at the end of this presentation. Good afternoon and welcome to today's Career College webinar. My name is Lee Doubleday, and I'm the Director of Operations here at the Imagine America Foundation. The foundation is located in Northern Virginia and is dedicated to supporting students looking to enter career and technical colleges. I'm happy to welcome our guests to today's webinar, which showcases automotive careers and specifically the education programs offered by Universal Technical Institute. This is our 7th webinar in this series, and today's showcase campus is the Sacramento, California Universal Technical Institute campus. For those participants unfamiliar with the Imagine America Foundation, the foundation has been providing career guidance to graduating high school seniors since 1982. The Imagine America Foundation has been offering scholarship aid to enrolling high school seniors since 1999. To date, we are proud to have assisted more than 100,000 graduating high school seniors that have enrolled into one of our participating career colleges. To save time and to move to today's presentation, I urge all interested parties to go to our website to get additional information on Imagine America and our many programs and services at www.imagine-america.org. Automotive technology programs are some of the most popular programs at our member career colleges. Currently, our country faces a serious shortage in certified automotive technicians. We hear from employers from all over the country desperately looking for qualified employees. Our partner in today's presentation is Universal Technical Institute. UTI is one of the premier automotive education providers in the United States, with campuses located throughout the United States. Joining me today to discuss in detail the looming automotive technician shortage and how UTI is helping meet this need is Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle is a nationally recognized expert in this area. He is also a frequent speaker and presenter at state, regional, and national career and trade education conventions with an extensive K-12 background. But before turning over the program to Dr. Coyle, let me outline today's agenda. Today's webinar will be 30 minutes maximum with questions and answers at the end of the presentation. Once I finish these remarks, we will move directly into today's presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session using the chat feature in this Zoom meeting. At the end of the presentation, or approximately 3:55 p.m., I will present any of the questions that were asked by the participants at that time. We will have a hard close at 4 p.m. Now, without any further delay, it's my pleasure to turn this webinar over to Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle, the floor is yours.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Let me just jump right into this. Thank you all for joining us today. Our agenda today, threefold. We will begin with challenges facing the workforce, followed by opportunities in the automotive industry, and then finally finishing up with Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. Our workforce has changed a lot from the 20th to the 21st century. In the 20th century, we were very much an agricultural manufacturing society. I mean, everything was based around that. Today, in the 21st century, we've become very much service-oriented. If you own a home, if you own a car, if you own a washing machine, it doesn't matter. You need people that can service, those items, and you all know how difficult it is to find people, especially qualified people that can do this for us. A survey was done with 150,000 Boy Scouts, and the question was very simple. How many of you would like a skilled trades career? A whopping 3% said, yes, sign me up, I'd love that. But the same group was then asked, how many of you would like a STEM career? And over 45% said yes. They would love to do something on those lines. There lies the disconnect, because students today do not realize that skilled trades are also STEM. And many educators don't make that connection either. They tend to think it's going to be the upper level students, whereas in reality, STEM is for all of our students. And we need to make that distinction. The house that you live in, I'll bet you hope that those carpenters were STEM oriented, that they could read a ruler, a yardstick, or a tape measure so that they could measure properly your house so it'd be squared. One of the problems we have in this country right now is that of all the careers that are available today, only 20% actually require a bachelor's degree for entry. The other problem that we have is that half of the college graduates that we have that go into college or go into occupations where they didn't even need a college degree. They spent all that time, all that money, and didn't even need that. We have a problem right now in this country of not unemployment, but underemployment. We have a lot of people working now that have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, or higher that are actually in occupations where they didn't need that education, or they wanted to get into something that they were prepared for but couldn't find anything, and so they had to settle for something less. We talk about the new smart all the time, but before we can talk about the new smart, we have to understand what the old smart was. The old smart, I shouldn't say was, because some people are still using it today, but the old smart was get into the best school you possibly can. We've seen this played out in the news here just recently with the admissions scandal that's going on right now, where parents paid thousands and thousands of dollars to get their son or daughter into what they thought was the best college out there. Then after you get into that college, then you're going to figure out what it is that you want to do. And then if you figure out what you want to do, then you graduate from there and you walk out into the world and go, here I am, hire me. We know today that just doesn't work. So what we propose is the new smart. And the new smart is, let's have good conversations with our students. Let's find out what their passions are. What do they want to, what do they want to do? I always use the question all the time. We ask young people, what do you want to be when you grow up? We do that when they're little kids, but for some reason we stop asking them that when they get older. We need to keep asking that question. What are your passions? What do you want to do? Then after we find that, then we find the program that they need. Do they need an associate's degree? Do they need a bachelor's degree? Do they need a diploma? What are they going to need to meet that passion? And then finally, what school is going to meet those needs? So many times students pick a school just because their best friend's going, their girlfriend or their boyfriend's going, or it's close to home or whatever. We need to, think smarter than that. What school is going to get me to where I want to be? The rule of 1, 2, 7. It's very simple. If you add 1, 2, and 7 together, you get 10. For every 10 careers out there today, right this moment, only 1 requires an advanced degree. 2 of the 10 require a bachelor's degree. 7 of the 10 require a degree such as an associate's degree or a diploma. What educators are looking for right now and what employers are looking for are competency-based credentials. So that's the rule of 1, 2, 7, which is very true in what we're in our educational field today and in our workforce today. Skilled trades require the STEM capabilities. We talked about STEM just a minute ago. We all know what STEM stands for: science, technology, engineering, and math. But what we have to do is put that together. How does that work? What does a STEM career really mean? And who is it for? We tend to think it's only for students that are wanting to go to the college or university, but we know that's not true. STEM is for all of our students. They all have to have these skills at some level or another. And then finally, what I said earlier, competency-based credentials are what employers are looking for. What do you have to offer them other than a piece of paper that says, I have a degree? What do you have to offer them? The second part of our agenda involves opportunities in the automotive industry. Today's cars, as you all know, are rolling computers. Over 100 million lines of code in cars today. We have cars, we tend to think about, for instance, autonomous cars. They're here. Tesla and other companies are already coming out with these, and more are coming out as well. We do have a lot of cars today that are semi-autonomous, meaning that they can do some functions. For instance, Honda, they have the Honda with Honda Sense, where they can actually drive down the road unassisted for periods of time. We can't take a nap while we're going down the road in one, but at least they can navigate down the road. We have lane departure warnings. We have collision alert systems, all these things. Our problem is, who's going to work on this? The mom and pop shops can't keep up with this. They don't have the skill or the money for the equipment that's going to take to work on these. The major tool that a technician uses today is not a crescent wrench or a socket wrench, it's their laptop. So that's how we tune into these cars to find out what's wrong with them so we can diagnose them and then fix them. There are over 260 million vehicles in the United States today. That number is not going to go down. It's going to continue to go up because cars are our freedom. And so people want their cars, and most households have more than one car. So that number is going to continue to rise. We have to have technicians to fill that void. And as you can see on this slide, 1.2 million technicians job openings are going to be here by 2026. The skills gap is not narrowing, it is widening. And with the new technologies that's coming out, it's getting even wider. We have to have technicians that can work on these vehicles. And as I said earlier, the mom and pop shops, if you drive around the towns and cities where you live, you see fewer and fewer of those shops now because they just can't keep up with the technology that's in these vehicles today. And then finally, Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. UTI, we are the leading provider of technician training in the country. We have over 200,000 graduates in our 54th year of history. We now are in our 54th year. We started in 1965. We offer 8 programs across 11 major metros. We have established trip relationships with, it says 3,725. That number has grown to almost 5,000 employers. TRIP stands for Tuition Reimbursement Program, Incentive Program. And what that does, like for instance, our graduates, when they come out, we have employers that will offer incentives for our students to go to work for them. They will offer packages where they will pay them their salary, but then they will also give them an additional $200, $300, $400 every pay period to pay off their student loans, to pay for tools, to help relocate to where they're moving to, those kind of things. It's getting like the medical field. They need the technicians, so they're willing to do what it takes to attract that talent in. And then finally, 4 out of 5 of our graduates get jobs. We're very proud of that placement percentage. And when we say they get jobs, we don't mean they get a job at McDonald's. We mean they get a career in their chosen field. We help students find their passion. You can't just come to UTI, you have to be invited. And we do a very careful interview with the student along with their parents to find what their passion is. Is it auto, diesel, collision, motorcycle, marine, NASCAR, CNC, or welding? Whatever their passion is, we're going to explore that with them in that in-home interview to find out what it is that they really want to do so we can get them into the proper program and get them the training that they need. We also have a national presence. As Lee had mentioned earlier, we have campuses all over the country. Specifically in California, we have 3 campuses, one in Sacramento, one in Rancho Cucamonga, and one in Long Beach. And these campuses allow us to reach more students across the country. Also, by having a national presence, that comes in handy for students when they want to relocate to other parts of the country. We have a UTI close by, so we can help them to get placed to where they want to be. We're very proud of our alliances with our manufacturers. We have over 30 alliances with manufacturers. These are the big companies like BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, Cummins, International, Peterbilt. All these companies we have alliances with. This is who we're training our students to go to work for. We say a lot of times, we're not training our students to go to work for Jiffy Lube. We're training our students to go to work for these type of companies because they have well-established career opportunities and they pay very well too. It gives our students the stability they're looking for in a new career. One of the things that I talk to educators all over the country about is the college scorecard. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. A lot of the educators are not. I submit to you that you need to make this part of your toolbox, because it's an important tool not only for students but also for parents. As you can see on the college scorecard, which came about in 2013 from President Obama's State of the Union address, the Department of Education came up with this as a way to measure schools and how they're performing. You can see we have 3 examples there. We have an example of Darton State College, George C. Wallace Community College, and UTI of Arizona. As you can see, and the average annual cost, we are much more expensive than the other 2 schools. But when you look at graduation rate, we have a much higher graduation rate than either one of those schools. And then finally, the salary after attending, our salary is much higher than what they have to offer too. So the old saying, you get what you pay for, kind of applies here. And this is an example. What I would challenge you to do is go to collegescorecard.ed.gov and try it out for yourself. Look up schools that you're familiar with and see how they are performing. It's shocking in some instances to see just exactly how these schools are performing. One of the things that we did is we pitted ourselves against doctoral universities, liberal arts colleges, and 2-year public colleges just to see, with our type of education, how do we compare with them? As you can see, we compare quite favorably to them. Our graduation rate is right there with all of them, and our salary is as well. The other thing that we measure ourselves against are the top liberal arts schools in the country. These are the big schools in liberal arts, very expensive schools, and you can see we're in the top 10 as far as salary is concerned. We hold ourselves very well against those schools. One of the things that we really try to do is push our graduates. We try to showcase them, I guess you might say, because they will all tell you the same thing. Going to UTI was a good decision for them, but UTI wasn't the magic tool here. They are, because they were willing to work hard, to put in the commitment, because we're very demanding of our students. We want them to have high professionalism. We want them to be in class every day, not every other day. They've got to be there. They've got to work hard while they're there. They've got to be coachable, teachable, so that we can help them to get the success. And so we like for them to spread that to other students, to make sure we get the right students, that you can't just come to UTI and expect a gift. You got to work for it. We are eager to help you financially. We are Title IV funded, so we offer financial aid for those who qualify. So you fill out a FAFSA to see how you qualify. We offer scholarships, over $15 million in scholarships. We offer housing grants, institutional grants, relocation grants, our trip partnerships that I already mentioned, and then third-party programs to help cover emergency expenses. You all are the catalyst out there. We know that your contact with students, that you need to help students to understand the rule of 127, the college scorecard. You're the only one giving them the real facts out there. And so that's why we love partnering with you to help make that happen. Everything we offer, we do high school presentations in all the high schools across the country. These are all free of charge. We have an amazing workbook that helps students to become more informed about all of their opportunities out there, not just UTI, but all of their opportunities, because we feel very strongly that the university for all mentality has to go away. One of the things that I'm really on a crusade about is getting rid of the word college, because when you say college, people automatically think, oh, you're talking about UCLA or USC or some school like that. But when you say post-secondary education, then that takes in cosmetology schools and welding schools and auto schools and all these type of things. So that's why we try to partner with you to help you as much as possible to be successful with your students. You can follow us on social media. We're everywhere. You also notice that we have a lot of advertisements on television as well, commercials. And then finally, I'll leave you with my contact information. I would welcome any comments or questions that you might have. This is my phone number. This is my email address. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time. If you have questions, a bit more questions about UTI, the things of that nature, I'd be glad to work with you. Thank you once again for joining me, and I hope you have a nice evening.
Wow, Dr. Coyle, thank you very much for your presentation. We will now be addressing some of the questions that have come in during the presentation. And this first one comes in from a guidance counselor in Sacramento that would like to know if they would like to have one of the Universal Technical Institute's local reps come to their high school. Should they contact you directly or reach out to a certain web page on your website, or how would they go about contacting someone at UTI to come to their school?
Well, there's three ways. Of course, you can always contact me, and if that's the easiest, by all means, reach out to me and I can get you in touch with the proper representative. You can also go on our website, uti.edu, and you can request that online, or you can call our campus and they will get you in touch with the right person. So you have three ways that you can make this happen.
Okay, great. And it does look like we have one more question. This comes from a guidance counselor in Portland, Oregon, who would like to know if there are any open houses scheduled at the Sacramento campus coming up soon.
We have an early decision day on May 18th. Starts at 10 a.m. And we're excited about that because this is a time when we have students that are just completing their junior year, getting ready to start their senior year, and they've made an early decision. They would like to go to UTI. So the parents come in. We invite lots of students to come by. You don't have to enroll to come by. We just want you to come see us, what we have to offer. So by all means, that would be a great time for you to come by, get a tour of our school. We also do tours twice a day, Monday through Friday. We do a morning tour and we do an afternoon tour. You can call the campus to get the specific times because it varies across the country, and they can help you out.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm sorry, I missed. When did you say the early decision day is?
It's on May 18th at 10 a.m.
Okay. And do you have any sort of flyer or something that we can pass out to the counselors that are asking for this?
Yeah, actually, there is. I mean, you can go on the website, uti.edu, and click on the Sacramento campus, and all the information will be displayed on there. That'd probably be the easiest way to get all that information.
Great.
It gives the address of our campus and everything that you would need.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Before closing, I would just like to thank our participants for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today. I'd also like to thank Dr. Coyle for sharing with us today's presentation, and encourage all of you to contact him directly with any future questions. And on behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, thank you and goodbye.